On August 31st, 2023, Danilo Cavalcante escaped from a Chester County prison. Danilo was originally convicted in 2017 in Brazil for homicide. He then fled to the United States and successfully lived at large for 7 years. He not only obtained a job, he also obtained a girlfriend in the States. When his United States girlfriend found out about his convicted murder in Brazil, she threatened to turn him in. Instead of risking getting locked up and deported from the United States, he chose to murder her too. His August 31st escape triggered a massive manhunt, which brought in U.S. Border Patrol and prompted hundreds of Pennsylvania State Police officers to join the Border Patrol in Chester County. After almost 2 weeks of searching, on September 13th, they finally located Cavalcante hiding in a woodpile. They found him using a thermal. Coincidentally enough, I personally hand-delivered a thermal during the search to a local customer living just outside the active search zone. This customer understood the importance of having thermal in the darkness. If you truly want to own the night, the first thing you need to do is figure out how to get both night vision and thermal in your kit. We have talked about how important it is to have both spectrums, night vision and thermal, many times in the past. Figuring out exactly which device is going to work best for you is the first step in the process. While figuring out the model device that you're going to purchase is important, something you should ask yourself first is what style of thermal device you should even begin to look at. There's basically 3 different styles of thermal devices on the market. The first and most well-known version is a dedicated thermal. This would be things like this RH25 I have here, for example. While there are many other versions of dedicated devices on the market, the RH25 is what I'll be using in this video. The next version that's reasonably well known and quite popular would be an overlay projection style thermal device. An example of this would be a Jerry CE5 or an Icadi. The third version of thermal, which is arguably the least available to the consumer market, would be a true fusion binocular device like the Jerry FB or an ENVGB. A dedicated thermal device like the RH25 is the age-old standby that most people are interested in. With a lot of dedicated thermals, especially one like this RH25, there is more flexibility and ability packed into this tiny little unit than with the other 2 options. With this little unit, you can helmet mount it or weapons mount it as a clip-on or as a dedicated thermal optic. You could also just hold this unit in your hand. This tremendous amount of flexibility is definitely one of the biggest reasons why most people choose to go with a dedicated thermal. While these are the major strengths of a dedicated unit, one of the weaknesses is if you only purchase one device and you only have thermal, you won't have the night vision for easier navigation in certain situations with different weather conditions.
By now you guys know us for this, but what you might not know us for is this. And what I'm specifically talking about are the sewn gear and also the other accessories and bags and lights and weapon accessories that are on our website. And I know that we've been pushing the night vision and thermal like crazy, but we also have this supplemental gear that is going to help you become more formidable and be more prepared in your everyday life. So when you're thinking night vision and thermal, absolutely think about us. Consider going over to our website and buying your next unit through us or any accessory that complements that unit. However, if you're looking for weapon lights, handheld lights, and other weapon accessories, as well as sewn gear, bags, everyday carry items like that, consider checking out our website as well and give us a first look. And if you don't see what you want, contact us at cs@arcane.com. We'd be happy to add some more gear to our website. We just need that feedback from you guys. So check out our website, arcane.com. That's it for now. Let's get back to the video.
Moving down the line, we have the Jerry CE5 clipped onto a Viper Bino. Now this style of overlay thermal is a really good option for anyone who may have a set of binocular night vision, and they don't want to sell their binoculars to gain helmet-mounted thermal capability. While these devices are great for this very specific role on a set of binocular night vision, I usually don't recommend it to anyone that only has a PVS-14. Because of the extra clarity that a dedicated thermal can bring to the table, I usually recommend a dedicated thermal beside a PVS-14 before an overlay style thermal on a PVS-14. This is specifically to gain the increased clarity brought by the dedicated thermal. To understand why this clip-on style of thermal overlay device doesn't have the clarity of a dedicated thermal, you need to understand how it works. This overlay thermal device has a miniature projector in the very front of it. That projector shines into the lens of the night vision device, projecting the thermal image into the night vision tube that you were using. Because of this process, the Jerry CE5 and the Cody do not have the same level of clarity available as this RH25 does. Where the clarity is lost is through the process it takes to get the thermal image to your eye. There's multiple steps that happen to achieve this, and you lose clarity with each step. You lose clarity when the thermal image is projected into the night vision device. You will also lose clarity as the thermal image is processed by the night vision tube. All those light particles must pass through not only the lens, but the entire night vision tube itself until those light particles reach the phosphor screen. With everything inside the night vision tube modifying those particles by bouncing, twisting, turning, and amplifying those light particles, you will naturally lose clarity in that process. Now let's jump into the Jerry FB. This device offers the same exact concept as a binocular night vision device and a Jerry CE5 when combined. The Jerry FB just offers it with a lot higher clarity from the thermal. Let's take a closer look at how exactly the Jerry FB works so we can start to understand how it offers higher thermal clarity. The Jerry FB has a separate screen for the thermal image data that it's picking up. That screen in the Jerry FB is between the night vision tube and your eye. So when you look into the device, you're looking at the thermal screen first and then through the night vision tube. Basically put, the Jerry FB has the ability to put more focus on the thermal screen because it's first. You can adjust the gain or brightness on the night vision tubes, and you can also adjust the brightness and the contrast of the thermal. With a quick couple of adjustments, it's easy to either focus on the night vision only or focus on just the thermal. There are so many adjustments inside the Jerry FB that I'm confident you will be able to get the device adjusted perfectly for every situation you may find yourself in. I hope all this information helped you see the pros and cons of each different device and each different style of thermal that we looked at here today in this video. To me, the first thing to consider is if you have any other night vision or thermal gear already. If you do, those devices can help dictate which device you should choose to complete your kit to obtain both night vision and thermal. If you already have a binocular night vision device, a Jerry CE5 would be a solid option. If you already have a PVS-14, the RH25 would definitely be a really solid addition to run beside that PVS-14. If you're starting with nothing and you want a binocular night vision device with thermal ability, the Jerry FB definitely brings an extremely high level of clarity to the table. It is arguably the most seamless way to combine night vision and thermal in the darkness mounted on your helmet. There's a lot of data here to think about and consider, and if you're still struggling with your ability to choose which style device is going to serve you best, feel free to reach out to me anytime via email, cs@arcane.com. And if you want to text or call me, you can find my direct number on our site across multiple different product pages. Please feel free to shoot me a text and we can schedule a time to talk on the phone to try and get you dialed in and set up with the night vision and thermal device that is going to serve you best in the darkness.